वक्रतुण्डमहाकाय सूर्यकोटि समप्रभा निर्विघ्नं कुरु मे देव शुभकार्येषु सर्वदा। ॐ त्वमेव साक्षात् श्री गणेश गणेश गणेश
ललाट पे है चंद्रमा, चंद्रमा जटा में गंगाधार है, गंगाधार है। ललाट पे है चंद्रमा, जटा में गंगाधार है। छड़ी है भस्म अंग पे, गले में साप हार है। नवा रहे हैं शेष देव सर तुम्हारी भक्ति में, है कोटि सूर्य का प्रकाश शिव तुम्हारी शक्ति में, शिव तुम्हारी शक्ति में। शंकर भोले वाले शैला बिहारी त्रिपुरारी, तेरी लीला प्रभु सबसे है न्यारी। शैला बिहारी त्रिपुरारी, तेरी लीला प्रभु सबसे न्यारी। भक्ति भाव से सब कर दे भगवान तेरी पूजा, भगवान तेरी पूजा। शिव जी तेरा जो है, शिव जी तेरा जो है, रूपा निराला भोला भाला, तेरी ज्योति पे सभी है बलिहारी। ओ शंकर भोले वाले शैला बिहारी त्रिपुरारी, तेरी लीला प्रभु सबसे न्यारी। ओ शंकर भोले वाले शैला बिहारी त्रिपुरारी, तेरी लीला प्रभु सबसे न्यारी। सागर मंथ के सभी देवता अमृत वाला चाहे, तुम अभयंकर विष्णु देकर नीलकंठ गलाए, नीलकंठ गलाए। जो भी आया शंभो, जो भी आया शंभो, शरण तिहारी दुर्गाहारी, उसकी नैया तूने पार उतारी। ओ शंकर भोले वाले शैला बिहारी त्रिपुरारी, तेरी लीला प्रभु सबसे न्यारी। ओ शंकर भोले वाले शैला बिहारी त्रिपुरारी, तेरी लीला प्रभु सबसे न्यारी। हे शिव शंकर, हे प्रलयांकर, हर के नाना रूप तेरे गण, संग संग तेरे नाचे, संग संग तेरे नाचे। तेरा किसी ने भी, तेरा किसी ने भी मेरा न पाया, कैसी माया आई तुझको तो नंदी की सवारी। ओ शंकर भोले वाले शैला बिहारी त्रिपुरारी, तेरी लीला प्रभु सबसे न्यारी। ओ शंकर भोले वाले से सब करते हैं भगवान तेरी पूजा, भगवान तेरी पूजा। शिव जी तेरा तो है, शिव जी तेरा तो है रूपा गिराना भोला भाला, तेरी छवि पे सभी है बलिहारी। ओ शंकर भोले वाले शैला बिहारी त्रिपुरारी, तेरी लीला प्रभु सबसे है न्यारी। ओ शंकर भोले वाले शैला बिहारी त्रिपुरारी, तेरी लीला प्रभु सबसे है न्यारी। सागर मंच के सभी देवता अमृत पालना चाहे,
सागर मन के सभी देवता अमृत पालना चाहे, तुम अभयंकर विष्णु पे नीलकंठ कहलाए।
तुम अभयंकर विष्णु पे कर नीलकंठ कराए, नीलकंठ कराए। जो भी आया शंभो,
जो भी आया शंभो
शरणागतिहारी दुखहारी,
उसकी नया तूने पार उतारी। ओ शंकर भोले वाले शैला
कुंडलिनी साक्षात् श्री आदिशक्ति माताजी, श्री निर्मला
Okay, hello everyone. Good evening. Welcome to the second session of the Ashram series. It's been a while being with everyone, and yeah, just getting to see everyone. I was last week behind the scenes while Monica did the session, and it was great to see everyone rock up after 2 months. So again, we hope you had a good break And we could see messages you are still continuing to meditate, as Monica and the others would keep posting programs that were happening. So great to see the enthusiasm. Keep it up. And Shri Mataji, yes, to everyone as well. So yeah, welcome back to the next series. And as you know, it's happening once a week. So we're trying to mimic what you would do in your local ashrams or meditation centers. And basically, yeah, the beauty of this that we're doing each week is to consolidate everything you've learned in those, how many days was that? 21 days, 42 plus, we did those 21 episodes. So almost 3 to 4 months of learning you've all done. And yeah, just bring that all together and keep helping you grow, learn more, listen to Shri Mataji's talks, and get to experience more about, what are those pujas and things like that. And we also hope you are visiting your local centers if it's possible for you, because that's where you can get the most joy as well, to meet people face to face and meet your collective. And you make friends, and you also get to experience that bond and joy. And you'll find that difference actually when you hang out with sage yogis who are realized souls. You feel that lightness, you feel that automatic connection and joy. Whereas, and then when you hang out sort of with normal friends, you'll find that difference that, oh, okay, it's quite different. So it's really good to be face to face as well if you can physically. If you can't, it's okay. That's why we're here, to mimic like a virtual ashram. But yeah, just hope your Sahaja Yoga journey is still going really well as well. So today's theme is, so as you can see that we don't really have prescriptive themes each session. We actually come up with it very spontaneously, a day before or night before, because it's like an ashram. So when we go to our local center here, it's usually very random. Someone gets picked to lead, and they can sort of focus on whatever topic they'd like, which talk and music. So it's a very spontaneous session, and this is what happens here as well. So today's theme, because there's a festival called Shivaratri that's coming at the end of Feb, which is sort of 1st of March. It's all about that concept of Sri Shiva. So you might remember he's the deity of the left heart, and he's also represents the spirit. So he has a very important role when it comes to spirituality, Sahaja Yoga, and how you could say his qualities that look after us. So we'll cover a bit of that. And before we go into that, I will just run through a couple of admin things again regarding the website. So we'll just do this for the first few times initially in the series to get you all familiar with it. And then I think you guys should all be fine. Also, just a shout out that if anyone is new to Sahaja Yoga, you can always sort of put your name or number in the chat box, but I'll also show you now shortly, if you are new and you're not part of a WhatsApp group, what you can do there. So I hope you're all having a good day, a good week, and a good evening. Let me just share my screen to just kick off. So just bear with me one moment that this will just work. Okay, looking good. So as you would have all seen that, yeah, we have a new website now. So we're no longer on the freemeditation.com.au website. We've now moved to yogis.com.au. So it's a bit like you've all had a promotion. You're all now officially Sahaja Yogis. And the free meditation website or hub is more for newbies or people who are still growing and learning in Sahaja Yoga. So basically, we kind of consider that until you haven't learned, who Shri Mataji really is, experienced a puja, or at least learned the concept of mantras and deities, you're still quite new. So that's the free meditation website, which has all our classes, courses there. And as you can see, we've always got a 21-day course happening these days. It's a very good spot for anyone new. If you've got family and friends who want to learn, you can direct them to freemeditation.com.au and they can sort of go from there. Pardon me. But for you guys who are now promoted and are actually Sahaja Yogis, we've migrated you now to the yogis.com.au website. So this is the website that you could pretty much say, the experienced or very advanced now Sahaja Yogis can come here to find the latest pieces of news and information about pujas, events, things like that. So the website is called Ashram, and I'm sure maybe you've all heard of the word ashram. So you can pop in the chat box if you actually don't know what the word ashram means, because I had an interesting session with some of my other sort of students on a Sunday class, and some people knew the meaning, some people didn't. And I'll just quickly run through, I guess, what is an ashram. So it is an actual English word. It is Sanskrit though, which is it's derived from, but it is an English term. And historically, it's a place where spiritual people or persons would sort of gather to either maybe respect a guru or learn from a guru about spiritual teachings. So even now in ashram that we use the word in Sahaja Yoga is the exact same thing. It's a place where Sahaja yogis gather to meditate, socialize, interact, and do pujas and even weekly meditation events. So this is why we came up with the name, the Ashram series, because we were wondering, what do we call this? Are you guys going to be called now the 21 super advanced people? It sounded a bit odd and we were just tossing and turning in names. And then one day it just came spontaneous that what we are trying to do in this new series is mimic a virtual ashram. So you get to experience, okay, this is what would usually be done if you went to your local centers one. And you'll see that we focus more on the meditation aspect. Shri Mataji's talks might be a bit longer now. And what we're also trying to hope to incorporate over time is also a bit of socializing in the end, as that's what we do in our ashrams here. We have socialization, interactions, dinner, things like that. I mean, you can have dinner in the end in front of the computer, but it's up to you. So yeah, that's what we're trying to mimic. So for example, here in Brisbane, our ashram is in a place called Wamaran. So you can see on Google, it's actually the Sahaja Yoga Meditation Center. And likewise, if you Google your local city and type in meditation center or ashram, I'm sure you'll find an address, a contact number. And you can see here, yep, it's a beautiful property here. And fun fact, Shri Mataji actually selected the land for this ashram. So how the story sort of goes is that the yogis of Brisbane were trying to look for a place to establish a proper ashram in. And Shri Mataji, once when she came to Brisbane, sort of, I think they saw like a newspaper or something and saw there's an ad for this piece of land. And she said, yep, that's the one. And the yogis at the time actually built this house themselves, and they actually handmade the bricks. So if you ever come to Brisbane, it's a beautiful place full of vibrations, very homely, very lovely, out in nature. So it's like almost like a very beautiful retreat. So likewise, I'm sure you'll all have very beautiful ashrams in your local cities. Sometimes I know, for example, when I grew up in Hong Kong doesn't have large pieces of land. So the ashram was basically in like an apartment, but still beautiful, full of vibrations. And you'll also find that in your local cities, what ashram they have or meditation center, and you'll find it's just equally as lovely and relaxing. So that's just a quick recap about why we call it the Ashram series. And I'm sure you're all familiar with the website now that, yep, it's the same format, join with YouTube or Zoom. And then of course, we've got here a lot of links here if you need resources, but if you get stuck, just contact one of us. All the recordings are stored here. If you miss a session, that's fine. Now, this WhatsApp group, I just want to emphasize here that do not join this WhatsApp group if you're already part of our 21 ADV one. We've still kept it as 21 ADV. So if you're still part of that group, don't join this one. If you're not part of any WhatsApp group, this is where you join here, and myself and another uncle, we will interact with you to ask, what level are you at, and sort of give you the right avenue or home to go to, like the appropriate course or a series to follow. So just don't join this. I saw some of your names pop up in this group, but you do not need to be in this group because it's not going to be active in any way. So you can just let us know that, yeah, if you will join this and let us know if you need a home, basically. And then finally, we mentioned last week the newsletter. So last week, we actually said if you join the mailing list, there's a password. We've removed that password requirement now, so it's super easy. You just click there and just put your email address in, and you'll get basically email updates of what type of events or pujas and things are happening. Just keeping in mind, it will most likely be tailored towards Australian dates. So again, if you are in, of course, a different country, reach out to your local center, have they got maybe an email group or mailing list that you can be part of? as that's how they share things like the dates of events happening, things like that. And then, of course, if you ever need to refresh your Sahaja Yoga knowledge, as you know, that our free meditation website, so we've got freemeditation.com.au/courses, where it's got all the series. So it's even got the recordings you'll remember we did from August. So that was the August one. Then we did like September and then October, November. And there's all these other new 21-day series that have started since then. So these new ones are all just covering the basics that you've learned already. So if you find you ever need to recap, your mantras or deities again, then what you would do is you would try and go to the series we did sort of November, December, as that had the mantras. That beginners one was absolute beginners. And then that second one you guys might remember was where we just focused more about chakras in detail. So this one I do recommend if you feel you ever need to like refresh your knowledge or anything. And then just the final thing, again, as a reminder that now that you guys are quite advanced and you are learning those mantras, if on the website you click on devotional books, you might remember Monica showed you guys that it takes you to this page here where we've got PDF versions of the mantra book and also PDF version of the song book, so the bhajan book. So all these bhajans you hear when you're entering the session, or you'll start hearing more during these sessions, we will try and guide you actually and say, hey, this song is located on page number blah in this songbook. So that way, if you are interested to learn, okay, what are the words? How can I sing along? You can also do that with us. And if you need physical copies of these books, you will again need to approach your local meditation center and ask them that, I'd like to have a physical copy of the mantra book or song book. How do I get that? So you'll just have to ask there. But that's an FYI. So I do recommend, if you can, have the mantra book and song book downloaded, because we'll start encouraging you guys to also, in a way, follow us. If we're saying a prayer or if we're saying a song, and you can have it maybe on another device. If you hopefully have a second device at home, like an iPad or another phone or whatever, you can have that PDF stored there while listening to the Zoom session, another one. So see how you go. I know it's maybe not feasible if you don't have two devices, but just to point out, these are your options, and we are going to start encouraging you guys to sort of follow the words as well with us. Okay, I think that's enough of the admin stuff. If you have any questions ever, just put it in the chat box for now, and we'll get to that. So if you have any questions about the website or anything, you've got Monica, you've got us, you can let us know anytime. And I remember Monica, they pointed out there's also like a treatment book. So yeah, there's a lot out there. And if you ever feel a bit confused, just let us know. Okay, I think without further ado, let's go into a little bit of information about what is today's session about. And then we'll kickstart into the actual meditation program, how we do it in the ashrams as well. And today we're going to incorporate a couple of new elements, which we didn't have sort of last week. So that way you're more familiar. Okay, this is how these sessions are run. So let me share a PowerPoint to explain today's topic. So I'm hoping everyone can see the screen. And as you guys might remember from the advanced series, we taught you all how every chakra in us has deities that look after it. And all those deities also imbibe those various qualities. And now we ended the advanced series with a puja. So puja, you guys remember, a puja is basically a form of like offering. It's like a worship in a way. I'll have to actually Google what the actual word puja means, but puja is basically a worship or offering. So when you're worshiping or offering, you're trying to worship and offer or honor God in that particular avatar. So it's to do with that maybe particular like festivals around that time. So that deity is primarily, regarded or worshipped, but it's not just superficial. So it's not just like, okay, you're worshiping for the sake of it because it's this festival. So generally, for example, whether you're Hindu, Christian, you'd grow up celebrating a lot of festivals and you worship or go to the temple or church, but sometimes we don't know the deeper meaning. Well, why are we actually doing it? Like, it feels good, it feels joyful, but why? And that why, as you would have seen in the advanced series, we answered it that through Sahaja Yoga, Shri Mataji has explained the why between all these festivals and deities and their purposes in relation to human beings. So last week, Monica started the series in a way of honoring Sri Ganesha. So you guys might remember we said that when you start anything new in life, or even when we start our meditation, we always start with a mantra to Sri Ganesha, because he is the embodiment or deity of auspiciousness, of innocence, wisdom, and he clears out the obstacles. So when you start anything, it's always good to give regard to Sri Ganesha, that, please bless this new endeavor, or whether it's a new job, marriage, an exam, anything. They say you should always give him regard first. So that's what we did last week. And then the aim is that in this ashram series, every month generally has a puja or an event. So we're going to try and put these series to kind of make our topics around that puja and event so that you can understand more about, okay, why is this event celebrated? What's the purpose and how is that related to me? So as I mentioned, that in the coming sort of weeks, there is a festival called Shivaratri that's coming up. And Shivaratri means Shiva. Shiva, as you know, is the god of destruction, we explained last time. And he's generally depicted with a snake around his neck, a moon crescent, water coming out of his head, which is actually sort of trying to signify the Kundalini. And he usually dresses in a very simple manner, like he'll just have a bit of cloth around his legs. That's it. He's very simple. But he's considered that god of destruction, but also considered a very innocent god, and also the god that represents our spirit within us. So he's kind of considered, you could say, almost one of the ultimate gods, that he generally witnesses everything, while the feminine power, or you could say his other half, which is Parvati, or we sometimes say the Adi Shakti, she does the whole play. She does everything. So she's sort of represents in our nature, the Kundalini in us, while Shiva, he witnesses everything, but only steps in like a father when the human race or his children are misbehaving in a way. That's when he steps in and that destructiveness comes in. So this festival here, if you've grown up, like I said, sort of from a Hindu background, or you're from India, you probably know that it is considered quite a large festival around this time in sort of end of February, March. And interestingly, even I grew up with it. I used to think, okay, what is this festival about? So it's an auspicious night. So Shiva also means auspicious. I checked on Google. Ratri means night. So it's an auspicious night. Auspicious night of what? And I used to ask my grandma, I'm like, what is this festival about? And one common belief is that it's the day that Shiva married Parvati. So Parvati, you might remember, we talked about her, sort of his other half, as mentioned, and they look after the left heart. And then I saw, interestingly, on Google, there were a lot of other definitions that some people say it's the day that Shiva apparently swallowed poison to save the world, and that's why his neck turns blue. In some images of Shiva, you'll see he has a blue neck. Some people even thought that that's the day Shiva dies. And Shri Mataji said, that's absurd. How can God die when he's infinite? Some people said it's when Shiva was born. So I saw these mixed definitions and I was like, gosh, okay, what is the actual answer? And I realized that the ultimate answer of finding out these things always comes from the words of Shri Mataji. And you guys might remember, I pointed out a while back that there's a website called amruta.org, and it's got all the talks of Shri Mataji there, and it's all transcribed. So if you're ever looking for a topic and you want to know more about what Shri Mataji has said, there's a search function on the top right, and if you type in that word, everything in relation to that topic will come up. So that's what I did. I was like, okay, I don't know what Shivaratri is, and why don't I have a Google on, or have a look on Amruta and have a look. So I did, and pasted a bit of a paragraph here. So I'm just going to read it out. I know you can all probably see it as well. So she says that significance of Shivaratri on this great night was that the whole world was sleeping. It was in an ultimate state. The supreme creator was sleeping. Like we sleep and the whole universe sleeps with us. So like that universe slept, and from that sleep, Sadashiva was awakened. So Sadashiva is kind of what we mean by the ultimate God, whereby we say he's neither male nor female. He actually encompasses both. He is the ultimate God in a way. And it's from that, you might remember I said, his different avatars in a way sort of come. That, different forms of the feminine power come, or the masculine power, all emit from this power. So that is generally in a witness state. And apparently it was on this day that when he awakened, he also created this power from him called the Adi Shakti, or in a way, the feminine power, or the Holy Ghost that we say. And he separated this power from him. And that's what created the sort of the feminine and masculine power. So this is why I realized that, okay, this is why I see now why a lot of Hindus believe it's the day Shiva and Parvati married, because it is in a way that creation of the feminine and masculine energies in the world. So in a way, it's quite a big day. But ultimately, when you are regarding this festival or this puja, what you're giving regard to is that Shiva power that is sort of around us and within us. So that spirit that's within us, and then that sense of joy, security, and feelings of also, like we said, the left heart also in a way looks after your motherly principle, also your duty as a wife, also as like a daughter. So there's a lot in that aspect of that left heart. So basically what we're focusing today is that there is this festival coming up, and the primary focus is on Shiva. That Shiva principle, or the word you might hear sometimes Shri Mataji says called tattva. Tattva is a Sanskrit word which just means principle. So it means like the Guru tattva, the Shiva tattva. It's just the Guru principle, Shiva principle. That's just what it means. So what we'll do is, without further ado, let's begin meditating. And if you ever feel confused or why, like I said, you can always do your own research and have more of a read, say on amruta.org or YouTube talks of Shri Mataji about particular events or festivals like we have, for example, Shivaratri. If you want to read more, like, okay, what is it about? What has Shri Mataji said more about it? Because that's just a very quick description to give you that understanding that, okay, it's considered a significant time when those energies were created. But we can always leave it to you to always study more. And if you ever have questions, you can let us know. So what we'll do is that today, like we had last time, you will see the beautiful altar that I have at our house. And we'll put our attention on this altar. And we'll begin our meditation, and then we're going to go from there. And there's going to be some new aspects, as I mentioned, we're going to include, and I'll explain them as we go. So if you just want to sit back, relax, and we'll start by raising our Kundalini and put on our bandhan. You just sit quietly, very comfortably. You take a few deep breaths if you need to. And just get yourself very calm and relaxed. Let's start by taking one mantra to Shri Ganesha. Om Tvameva Sakshat Shri Ganesha Sakshat Shri Adi Shakti Mataji Shri Nirmala Devi Namo Namaha. Let's put our hand on the left heart and let's say one mantra to Shri Shiva Parvati. Om Tvameva Sakshat Shri Shiva Parvati Sakshat Shri Adi Shakti Mataji Shri Nirmala Devi Namo Namaha. Shri Mataji. So you can always, now that you've learned the deities, you can always say Shri Shiva, Shri Mataji, Mother, whichever way you want to say it. You're still regarding the one higher power in a way. So interchangeably you can use those terms. We can ask here that Shri Mataji, you who are the form of Shri Shiva, please help me to feel the joy and security of my spirit. And let me not feel afraid. Let me feel strong, courageous. And please take away any unnecessary attachments. Please take away any fear. Now put your hand on the center of your heart. And here we'll say one mantra to Sri Jagadamba, who is the goddess that looks after the center heart. Om Tvameva Sakshat Shri Jagadamba Sakshat Shri Adi Shakti Mataji Shri Nirmala Devi Namo Namaha. And we can say the word Jagadamba 12 times. Jai Jagadamba, 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 Jagadamba. We can take a couple of deep breaths in and out, which is very good for your center heart. Now let's put our right hand on the left Swadhisthana, which is the left side of your hip. And the quality here is for pure desire, pure knowledge. And the mantra we use here is Shri Nirmala Vidya. Nirmala means pure, Vidya is knowledge. Om Tvameva Sakshat Shri Nirmala Vidya Sakshat Shri Adi Shakti Mataji Shri Nirmala Devi Namo Namaha. Mother, please take away any impure knowledge, any impure desires I may have. Please give me purity and wisdom. Move our hand to the left side of our tummy, which is our third energy center on the left. And here, the mantra here was Gruha Lakshmi, which meant, Gruha meant like home, and Lakshmi, you might remember, is the goddess that stands on a lotus. So she looks after wealth, material well-being, health, job, things like that. So when we're doing the left aspect, we're asking for, in a way, being the ideal homebody, which is the ideal wife, or in a way it's like a husband, child, and also an ideal person in society as well. So being that kind, generous person to like everyone. It's like being an ideal being. So we can say one mantra here to Shri Gruha Lakshmi. Om Tvameva Sakshat Shri Gruha Lakshmi Sakshat Shri Adi Shakti Mataji Shri Nirmala Devi Namo Namaha. So now what we'll do is we'll have a little bit of light music playing, and you can keep meditating on your own. So either put your attention on the top. If you're struggling with thoughts, you can watch the altar, or you can clear yourself. So now you can check your fingers if you like, and if you feel any blockage or any heaviness, you can clear yourself wherever it needs attention. So take this now, these few minutes, 5 minutes of your own time. So you can slowly open your eyes and hope you're all feeling a lot calmer now. And what we're going to do is generally in the older formats would go into a talk. But you may remember in that advanced series towards the end that Monica showed you how we can use like a bit of like a towel and rose water to actually clean Shri Mataji's photo. And also if you have a photograph of her feet, as a sign of, in a way, it's a bit like a giving a worship or regard. Just how like you cleanse yourselves every day. It's also important to, in a way, to cleanse, before you join Sahaja Yoga, whichever deity you may have been following, as just a sign of respect. So now because we consider Shri Mataji as the ultimate, in a way, deity we all respect and regard as our guru, it's that sign of respect to give her photograph a clean. And if you can do it daily, it's the best. Or you can say, if you can, whenever you can, say even once a week. And the red, you can see that's still on this, which is some that's been put, say a day ago, is kumkum or vermilion, it's called. And it's like a red powder you can get from Indian grocery stores. And you mix a bit of rose water in it, and it becomes like a bit of a thick paste. So vermilion has been used for a long time, especially say in Hinduism, as a form of giving that respect or regard, say for the goddess, putting that bindi or the dot on the forehead. So Shri Mataji says putting that kumkum is actually very good for your Agya chakra, just also with that red. It's a way to get rid of any negativities or prevent yourself from any negativities. But as you can also see, we put the red on her feet, and you can see the symbol there, which we may have actually never really discussed about, which is the swastika, which you may have seen before, at least somewhere. So this swastika is different from, of course, the one the Nazis used, because they turned it in another direction to use it for a very negative cause. So that was also a swastika, but on a different angle. But the one traditionally primarily used from ancient times that also stems from India is the one that you see at the moment, that it's on a complete perfect like right angle, that the right quadrant starts from the top and goes down to the left quadrant on the bottom left, and then you've got the top left quadrant that goes to the right. So it's a very balanced symbol if you see it, and that's what it symbolizes. It actually symbolizes balance, harmony. And the 4 dots as well also have meanings to do with the different sort of spiritual states we grow as human beings. But it's a very auspicious symbol. And this symbol is actually often seen depicted in relation to Sri Ganesha. So if you ever see pictures of Sri Ganesha, generally on his right hand, he has that picture of the swastika in his statues to symbolize that harmonization, that balance, which we always say, also is to do with your Muladhara chakra, having that groundedness and balance within you, things like that. And the second meaning behind it, which a lot of us probably would have learned coming into Sahaja Yoga, were actually 2 more things. The first is, if you look at the symbol in the middle, just as a plus sign, ignoring the arms that come out of it, it symbolizes the cross, which is Sri Jesus. And we have mentioned actually before that Sri Ganesha is considered, or Sri Jesus, sorry, is considered an incarnation of Sri Ganesha, and almost vice versa, because they both depict the quality of the Son of God. They all had that innocence and that quality of representing that child of God. So whereas Sri Ganesha, in a way, has an elephant head, and you may not really hear stories in human history. Okay, well, what did Sri Ganesha actually do, etc. But Sri Jesus actually came in that form of human, which is that form of Sri Ganesha, as we say, to give that message of forgiveness and harmony, etc. So that swastika also represents Sri Jesus as well as Sri Ganesha. And scientifically as well, Shri Mataji has said that apparently if you look at a carbon atom, and on its side, it actually has the shape of a swastika. And what she says is that at the end of the day, these vibrations you feel are just sort of almost like molecules or atoms or like carbon you feel, and they're vibrated. So you feel that positive energy, and that positive energy, if it was possible to look under a microscope, would have the shape or molecular structure of a swastika. So I found that really amazing the first time I heard that. And it's, again, if you go to amruta.org or go on YouTube and have more of a read about what Shri Mataji has said about swastikas, you can learn a lot more about it. So why we draw it on her feet is, again, as a sign of respect, and giving that regard to her. So what we're going to do now is I'm going to go to my altar and do what we say, like a really mini puja. Mini puja just meaning that mini worship, to just clean her photo, clean her feet, applying that fresh vermilion or kumkum, and then using a little bit of incense to just do a little small arti. Arti means like a little bit of like giving a bit of regard or worship in a way, using an incense stick. And while that's happening, we are going to play the Ganesha Atharva Shisha, which is basically a long prayer that gives those regards and respect to Sri Ganesha and his qualities. Again, it's that sign of starting something first or doing something new, by giving regards to Sri Ganesha. So the prayer, you would have heard it before in the previous series. It's going to be in Sanskrit, but after today's session, I will share with you the English words as well, and you can have a read in your own time, so you can imbibe the meaning a lot more. But for now, you can sit back, watch, relax, and then after that's done, we'll sort of go from there and do the next thing.
नमस्ते गणपतये त्वमेव प्रत्यक्षं तत्त्वमसि त्वमेव केवलं कर्तासि त्वमेव केवलं धर्तासि त्वमेव केवलं हर्तासि त्वमेव सर्वं खल्विदं ब्रह्मासि त्वं साक्षादात्मासि नित्यं ऋतं वच्मि सत्यं वच्मि अवत्वं माम् अववक्तारम् अवश्रोतारम् अवदातारम् अवधातारम् अवानुचानमवशिष्यम् अवपश्चात्तात् अवपुरस्तात् अवुत्तरात्तात् अवदक्षिणात्तात् अवचोर्ध्वात्तात् अवाधरात्तात् सर्वतो मां पाहि पाहि समन्तात् त्वं वाङ्मयस्त्वं चिन्मयः ब्रह्मासि त्वं ज्ञानमयो विज्ञानमयोऽसि सर्वं जगदिदं त्वत्तो जायते सर्वं जगदिदं त्वत्तस्तिष्ठति सर्वं जगदिदं त्वयि लयमिष्यति सर्वं जगदिदं त्वयि प्रत्येति त्वं भूमिरापो नलो नीलो नभः त्वं चत्वारि वाक्पदानि त्वं गुणत्रयातीतः त्वं देहत्रयातीतः त्वं कालत्रयातीतः त्वं मूलाधारस्थितोऽसि नित्यं त्वं शक्तित्रयात्मकः त्वां योगिनो ध्यायन्ति नित्यं त्वं ब्रह्मा त्वं विष्णुस्त्वं रुद्रस्त्वम् इन्द्रस्त्वम् अग्निस्त्वं वायुस्त्वं सूर्यस्त्वं चन्द्रमास्त्वं ब्रह्मभूर्भुवः स्वरों गणादिं पूर्वमुच्चार्य वर्णादि तदनन्तरम् अनुस्वारः परतरः अर्धेन्दुलसितं तारेण रुद्धम् एतत्तव मनुस्वरूपं गकारः पूर्वरूपम् अकारो मध्यमरूपम् अनुस्वारश्चान्त्यरूपम् बिन्दुरुत्तररूपम् नादसन्धानं संहिता सन्धिः सैषा गणेशविद्या गणकऋषिः निःसृद्गायत्री छन्दः गणपतिर्देवता ॐ गं गणपतये नमः एकदन्ताय विद्महे वक्रतुण्डाय धीमहि तन्नो दन्ती प्रचोदयात् एकदन्तं चतुर्हस्तं पाशमङ्कुशधारिणं रदं च वरदं हस्तैर्बिभ्राणं मूषकध्वजम् रक्तं लम्बोदरं शूर्पकर्णकं रक्तवाससं रक्तगन्धानुलिप्ताङ्गं रक्तपुष्पैः सुपूजितं भक्तानुकम्पिनं देवं जगत्कारणम् अच्युतम् आविर्भूतं च सृष्ट्यादौ प्रकृतेः पुरुषात् परम् एवं ध्यायति यो नित्यं स योगी योगिनां वरः नमो व्रातपतये नमो
Shri Mataji. So as you can see, we cleaned it, put some fresh new kumkum on, and also did a bit of incense. So you can also do that if you like, anytime at home, if you like. And another thing was, if you may have noticed, was the vermilion was applied with the right ring finger. So ring finger, if everyone remembers, is your agya, your sixth energy center. And as mentioned, that kumkum is also good for the agya chakra. So like how mother's got in the center of our forehead. Even as Sahaja yogis, we also apply it, especially on a puja, as that sign of respect, but also as a way to keep that agya chakra clear, especially when you are doing a puja or an event like that. It's like a way to tell your mind to be silent and absorb the vibrations you receive from that to keep yourself, strong and balanced as well. So the right ring finger is always used when you are applying this vermilion, as a way to keep that energy center also clear. So what we'll do is generally now in Brisbane, what we do is after that little puja is done, we sing a couple of bhajans. So again, we don't have full instruments here, but what I'm going to do is that I'm going to share my screen and we'll just go through maybe one or two bhajans, and I'm just going to sing along, and just join me and give it your best. And then we'll basically proceed to Mother's talk and then come towards the end as well. So let me just share my screen, and I'll show you all the music we'll go through today. So this I will share with all of you as well. And this is all extracted from that bhajan book, which was the PDF I showed online. So as you can see, the Tarvashirsha, it's got the English meaning below, and you're always welcome to have a read to help really absorb, what is actually being said, because Sanskrit is no one's really first language anymore these days. So it's really good to read the English to imbibe that, okay, what are we actually saying here in regards to Sri Ganesha? So the first song that we will go through is called Omkar Pradhana. It's a song you would have heard quite a few times. We used to use it as our opening music. And it's in Marathi, so it's one of the Indian languages. And I hope you can all see it clear. I'll just zoom in a bit more. And as you can see, it's on page Marathi 45. So if you ever get a book, if you've got the PDF as well on hand, join me, but you've got it on your screen. So let's give it our best, and we'll go from here. So as you can see, it was actually, so some of the description under these songs tell you who it was actually written by. So Saint Tukaram was a saint that came on earth quite some time back. He wrote this song. And these parts here are telling you which album this song is present. So Music of Joy, you guys would have seen, we use a lot of their music. And if you go to freemeditation.com.au/music, and go to the second album, you'll find this track. So a lot of music we use is from the Music of Joy albums. Okay, so let's start. Clear your voices, keep some water ready, and just do your best. Omkara Pradhana Rupa Ganesha Omkara Pradhana Rupa Ganesha He Tini Devan Se Janmastana He Tini Devan Se Janmastana Omkara Pradhana Rupa Ganesha Se Omkara Pradhana Rupa Ganesha Se. Just give me one moment. Sorry, what happened here? The words disappeared. Oops. Okay, we are back. Sorry about that. Okay, so we'll go to the next verse. So generally when we sing it, we have an interlude in between. But we're just going to sing it verse by verse. I don't have an instrument right now or a harmonium, so we'll just keep going. Akarato Brahma, Okarato Vishnu, Akarato Brahma, Okarato Vishnu, Makara Mahesha, Saniyela, Omkara Pradhana Rupa Ganeshan se Omkara Pradhana Rupa Ganeshan se. Then we go next verse. Aise tini deva chetuni utpana, aise tini deva chetuni utpana, toha gajanana maya bapa omkara pradhana rupa ganeshan se omkara pradhana rupa ganeshan se tuka mane asi ahe vedavani tuka mane asi ahe vedavani pahavi purani vyasajiya omkara pradhana rupa ganeshan se omkara pradhana rupa ganeshan se he tini devan se janmasthana he tini devan se janmasthana omkara pradhana rupa ganeshan se omkara pradhana rupa ganeshan se omkara pradhana rupa ganeshan se rupa ganeshan se rupa ganeshan se. So I hope you could all follow along. And it's not easy usually in the first few goes because there are such different words, but I'm sure you'll get the hang of it. The more you say, give it a shot. And one thing I'll add that if you do enjoy the singing, the full stops on the end do add a bit of an sound. So when you would have seen Omkara Pradhana, there was an sound we added. So it's not just Omkar Pradhan Rupa. We don't sing it literally. The full stop is a bit of a way to give you an sound to kind of flow into the next word. So that's what I'll just add. If you are a bit of a singer and you enjoy it, this is what the full stops are about. So akara to Brahma, ukara to Vishnu, and then the part here, he tini devan se jan mastana. So that's how it works. Let's go to our next song. So we'll go to one for Sri Shiva. And generally when you sing this one with instruments and a djembe and drums, it's really fun, it's really upbeat. And again, you can see it's a Music of Joy 2 album. So you can always listen to these pieces of music in your own time as well. Do it, put this music on, when you're working, you're doing chores around the house. I remember one of our yoginis said she loved doing that, and I think it was Anne, from UK, that, not putting the news, just putting bhajans on. So you can also do that. And I think I just got feedback that, yep, always wanted to see the lyrics. I always also used to be very excited looking at the lyrics, looking at the songbook, to be able to take part in that singing as well. So let's give this one a shot. This one is in the Hindi language. So Hindi, as you know, is one of the common languages of India, nationally spoken. And this book, if you see, it's divided into Marathi, Hindi, Sanskrit, and then there's a section where there's a lot of international stuff as well. Like we've got Spanish, Afrikaans, we've got Italian, English as well. So it's a really diverse bhajan book that we generally use in Sahaja Yoga. And again, the English lyrics are all at the bottom as well. Okay, so this one, let's sing it. It's basically all about taking the name of Sri Shiva, singing his praise, and then the other verses talk about his qualities. So we'll go 3, 2, 1. Bolo Shiva Shiva Shambhu Bam Bam Bam. 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 Are Gaure ये नाम हरता जब तक है पाइतम में तब बोलो शिव शिव शंभु बम 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 हे प्रलयंकर भीम भयंकर हे प्रभु शंकर स्वामी हे प्रभु शंकर स्वामी हे विशेश्वर हे परमेश्वर ईश्वर अंतर्यामी ईश्वर अंतर्यामी ये धुन है उत्तम अनुपम सारे जग के यही पिता परम बोलो शिव शिव शंभु बम 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 शिवा काम है दया दाम है शिव का नाम है संयम शिव का नाम है संयम शिव जी है मुक्ति शिव जी है शक्ति शिव जी है भक्ति का संगम शिव जी है भक्ति का संगम शिव महिमा मत समझो कब मिट जाएंगे दुनिया के कब बोलो शिव शिव शंभु बम 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 अरे गौरे ये नाम हरता जब तक है पाइतम में तब बोलो शिव शिव शंभु बम 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 बोलो शिव शिव शंभु बम 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 बोलो शिव शिव शंभु बम 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 बोलो शिव शिव शंभु बम बम बम. And generally when you finish singing, you fold your hands as that sign of respect. So, sorry, my camera's not on. So fold your hands in that sign of respect for what you've just sung and giving praise to that God. Okay, how's everyone feeling? Everyone wants one more song, or what do we want? One more? Go to the talk? What are people feeling? I want to see chats. Is everyone alive? What are we all doing now? Okay, amazing voice. Thank you, everyone. It's a bit rusty. I haven't sung in ages, so forgive me if my voice cracks. I think let's do one more song. More. Okay, more. I love it. Okay, one more. Okay. Thank you. Okay, cool. I'm thinking of Rosie right now. You guys remember Rosie with a guitar? Hopefully we'll invite her back again in the coming weeks because I love how she uses that guitar. I need to learn the guitar. So, yeah, we'll definitely make these sessions more musical as well as we keep going on. Okay, let's do another song. So another one we've got here is in the uh actually no. Now I want to let's actually go African. So just give me 1 second. I'm going to bring up the bhajan book and we are going to do a different song just to make it a bit more variety. And just show you, you know, what else there is in Sahaja Yoga as well. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to show you guys the bhajan book as well. And hope it's all clear for everyone. So this is the cover of it. If you actually get a physical copy of it, it's almost about a kilo. And I remember I used to joke when we used to do traveling that it does add to luggage weight, but I'm just kidding. It's a beautiful book. It's all designed by artists, Yogi artists, and you can see it's Uluru in the background. And every country, though, I will say, does have sometimes its different form of bhajan book. So, you know, if you find you get a bhajan book and you're like, oh, it doesn't look like the one, the Rachita and the others were showing in the series. It's because every country sometimes customizes how they make it, but the songs are generally the same because anywhere you go, any puja in the world, any collective, the database of bhajans is pretty much the same. So as a book, it's really beautiful. It's got a lot of prayers, mother's photos, and of course all the songs. So the one we're gonna do is called Siyahamba. So as you can see, there's a table of contents, and you can Control F search, you know, any song. So let's say you listen to a bhajan and you're like, oh, I love that. I love that song. I want to know the lyrics. If you do a Control F search on the PDF, type the word out, you can easily find it. So as I mentioned, got the world index here, and we're gonna sing a song called Siyahamba. So let's go to the actual song, 135. So we'll go to that one there. Okay. So you also have to sometimes give it a bit of a moment, because it is a very large book. It takes a bit of time to search. There we go. So we'll give this a shot, and just do your best and enjoy. So 3, 2, 1. Siyahamaku kanen cuencos, siyahamaku kanen cuencos, siyahamaku kanen cuencos, siyahamaku kanen cuencos, siyahama, hama, siyahama, siyahamaku kanen cuencos, nen cuencos, siyahama. Hama siya hama siya hama kukanyan cuencos 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 nyan cuencos siya hama hama siya hama Siyahama kukanen cuencos, nen cuencos. Siyahama, hama, siyahama, siyahama kukanen cuencos. We are marching in the light of God. We are marching in the light of God. We are marching in the light of God. We are marching in the light of God, light of God. We are marching, marching, we are marching. Ooh, we are marching in the light of God, light of God. We are marching, marching, we are marching. Ooh, we are marching in the light of God. We are dancing in our mother's joy. We are dancing in our mother's joy. We are dancing in our mother's joy. We are dancing in our mother's joy, mother's joy. We are dancing, dancing, we are dancing. Ooh, we are dancing in our mother's joy, mother's joy. We are dancing, dancing, we are dancing. Ooh, we are dancing in our mother's joy. Siyahama hamakukanyan cuencos, sia hamakukanyan cuencos, sia hamakukanyan cuencos, sia hamakukanyan cuencos, yan cuencos, sia hama sia hama sia hamakukanyan cuencos, sia hama sia hama sia hamakukanyan cuencos, sia hamakukanyan cuencos, sia hamakukanyan cuencos. Again, fold your hands in respect. And hope you guys like that one. It was a bit tricky and didn't realize that the lyrics are not actually completely true to how it's sung. There was some oohs added in, a bit of ornaments, and the two lines in the middle basically mimic the chorus in terms of structure. So this song, if you like it, is in the Music of Joy album 3. And if you just YouTube even Sia Hama, you'll find their version of it, and that's what we've also adopted in singing it that way. And there's not really any lyrics, unfortunately, written for the Afrikaans. So probably have to do a Google Translate. I've never actually done it myself. What does it mean? But it must mean something very joyous and beautiful because you just feel that vibrations and joy. So well done. If you were singing, good job. If you're enjoying as well, very good. We do hope even musically, if you are someone quite musical, you like instruments, you like singing, you can pursue that in Sahaja Yoga as well. And if you're doing it in your local collectives, please let us know. We'd love to hear stories from you, how you are doing it. So yeah, we really hope you enjoy the musical aspect in Sahaja Yoga. So on that note, what we will do is now we will move to Mother's Talk, and then we'll proceed from there. So I'm going to hand it over to Kirti. A big shout out to Kirti, who's my techie today, doing a wonderful job, and we'll listen to Mother's Talk.
Today we have assembled here to worship Sadashiva, which is reflected within us as Shiva, as the Spirit. He is reflected in our heart. And as you have seen that the goal of our life was to achieve the state of spirit. The other day I was reading some books how it was done. With Self Realisation, to know the spirit, and how people were tortured. First of all, they were asked to some or other deny, defy and condemn their body. Now, if the body wants to have comfort, then it was said that first try to sleep on the carpet, not on the bed. Then still it's not enough. Then from the carpet you go to a mat. Still is not enough. Then from that you move down to the Mother Earth, sleep on the Mother Earth. Still, if the body is not all right, then you start sleeping on the stone. But still Himalayas are far away, because Shiva resides in Kailasha. So you go to Himalayas and sleep on the ice. This was the minimum requirement. Then it was said that you are fond of good food, you want to have sumptuous food, you eat a lot, all right. So you deny everything that you like to begin with, all that you like. For example, Italians cannot eat pasta. Then deny that. But that's not sufficient. After that, you start eating things which are very bitter. As in the Zen system, they give you to eat something which is like quinine raised to power 108, which is absolutely bitter or absolutely sweet. So put your tongue into test. But still the stomach is there. So if you are eating too much, you fast for 1 day. That's not sufficient. Then fast for 7 days. Then for 40 days. I mean, the month has got to be 30 days. To fast for 40 days means you are already finished. That's how if you have to do your penance for nirvana. As it is, you get a nirvana because you are finished and dead, you see. Nothing is left out of you. Nothing but bones, and these bones then become nirvana. Ultimately the death follows, so you are finished and there is nirvana, no doubt about it. Then you don't live in a house, because house is comfort. Give up your wife, give up your children, give up everyone. Now wear only one something like a cloth tied round. And go and ask for alms from people. With these clothes also, there is still problem, because you are attached to your cloth. So you go to Himalayas, where there is nobody to see you. Take out your clothes, and in that cold, you stay there completely shaking. Then you will get your nirvana. As it is, you get nirvana. All such conditions were put as to destroy the demands of your body to begin with. You tell your body, no, nothing doing, you better work out your nirvana. The second thing was to destroy your mind, which takes you to senses, to things of joy. Supposing you want to have something very much. So, deny that. Anything that your mind tells you, just say no to. In Sanskrit, the shloka is like this: yan neti vachaner nigamo vachis. Which you won't say no, not this. And then you can discuss only nirvana. Before that, you are not even worthy of discussion of nirvana. When I read this book, I said, Baba, I give up. It's too much. But in Sahaja Yoga, it's the other way now. Like building first the pinnacle of the building and then the foundation. Opening your Sahasrara was the first thing was achieved. And then in the light of the Sahasrara, you have to watch yourself and see for yourself. Gradually the introspection was a better thing. Through vibrations is to see why I want this, why my attention goes to my comfort, why my attention goes to food, why to my family, why to my children, when I have to achieve the highest. So you start introspecting yourself. Then you know on your vibrations also there's something wrong with you. Then you don't try to see others. What's wrong with others? You start seeing yourself. Because it's your own ascent you have to achieve. But in the olden times, all these things were done individually. Like a one person who starts the path of nirvana, he used to go into ekant, means into lonely places. Stay away from people, avoid them, have nothing to do, and achieve this ascent, self-realization only for himself. It was not for others. Then this gentleman became absolutely exclusive. He wouldn't talk to anyone, he wouldn't meet anybody, and he would sit somewhere on top of a remote mountain. Anybody who tried to meet him, he would throw stones or say all kinds of horrible things and never meet that person. But Sahaja Yoga is not the same. Sahaja Yoga is the ascent of the whole. This kind of singular achievements did not lead people anywhere. Saints, of course, tried to talk to people, tell them about self-realization, about God, about righteousness, about various systems. But they too were regarded as something strange and were tortured and troubled. So, on the level of an individual ascent, they couldn't do anything for others except for talking about it, telling about it, till Sahaja Yoga came. Even the talking about it was prohibited. Till the 12th century in India, nobody talked about it to the public. It was all in Sanskrit, very difficult Sanskrit books, which were only available to few aspirants, was explained to very, very few even, amounting to few numbers of people. But giving realization was denied. So only one master had one disciple. And all was the individual ascent, individual working up. Such a disciple was taken away from others and was kept in secret, worked it out on him, and just he may sing, he may write poems, he may talk about it, he might say what his joy is, but he had no right to give realization to anyone, neither he knew how to give realization. So now you see how far you have gone. You've got your realization without giving up much. You can work on a much wider scale. You can give realizations to others. You know about all the subtle knowledge about Sahaja Yoga. But today I am going to tell you something more which we have to do. is very important to know, because as was described by people, that they practice Sahaja Yoga as they go to church, but it's not from their heart. And heart is the abode of the spirit. It's the Shiva within us. So we have to know more about heart, and that is very important. You know about these three nadis we have, Ida, Pingala, Sushumna. But in the heart there are four nadis. And the one nadi goes to Muladhara. And if you cross the limits of Muladhara, it goes to hell. That's why they say that Shiva is a destroyer. Actually, you ask for your destruction. And when you ask for your destruction, you have it. Even if it destroys everything, as I was telling, it's like when a fruit has to come, the petals look as if they are destroyed. As I have destroyed, I would say many of your things, you can call it like your conditionings, your ego, your racialism, your fanaticism, all this has been destroyed in Sahaja Yoga. This has to be destroyed for the beauty to come out. So when your maryadas cross beyond a certain point, you go to your destruction. In four directions there are destructions built, as there are four nadis. So now what is to be done? How are we to stop this destruction of through the first nadi going to hell? One of the qualities of Shiva is that his innocence. He is extremely innocent. He is innocent like a child. His innocence personified. So, we have to put our carnal desires, dissolve them into the innocence, the ocean of innocence. You have to dissolve it in the ocean of innocence. Innocence is something to be appreciated, to be understood, to be enjoyed. Like you see animals, they are innocent. You see children, they are innocent. Flowers, they are innocent. Divert your attention to all these things. You see, on walking on the street, what is there to see best? Is all at 3 feet height. You see at 3 feet height all the flowers, all the beautiful grass, all the children who are about 3 feet are the best. We need not see people who are above that. Just see on 3 feet level. You can see the legs of somebody, that's all right. But you don't see the eyes of a person who are not innocent. So dissolve this desire into innocence. And this Muladhara, which is innocent, is not dead, finished, but is innocent. It is righteous. It is Sri Ganesha's qualities. It's pure. So even if you are in this world, even if you are living like a human being, even if you have children, still you are innocent. Like once, the wives of Sri Krishna, he had 16,000 wives to begin with, and the 5 more. The 16,000 were his powers and 5 were the elements. They were wanting to go to pray to some big, well-known, I should say, a saint had come, a Maharshi had come. So they wanted to go and see him and pay respects. So they asked Sri Krishna's permission. But when they went, they found the river was all in speed. So flooded, they could not cross over. They came back, they said, how can we cross over this river? It's all in speed. So this Krishna said, all right, you just go and say, if Sri Krishna is Yogeshwar, and if he is absolutely innocent about sex, you go down. They said, how can we have so many wives, what is he talking about? So they went down and said this to the river, and the river went down, and they were surprised that this husband of ours is saying all these things. They went across and worshipped that rishi, and they were coming back again, the river was in floods. So they went back to the rishi, said, now how are we to cross over because it's in floods? They said, how did you come? So they told the story of Sri Krishna. Now they had fed this rishi with food and fruits and he had eaten such a lot. All right, you go and tell this river that this rishi has not eaten at all anything. He said, how can it be? Just now you ate before us. He said, just go and see. They went back and told this to the river. The river again went down. So to live in this world, to be a wife or to be a husband, to be married, whatever it is, you can be innocent, absolutely innocent about it. That's the sign of your purity. The second nadi, the second channel that can take you to destruction is desire. That's why Buddha has said that desirelessness is the only way that people do not get old, nor sick, nor worried. Now this desire that we have,
Okay, so let's just sit in silence for a moment. I'll turn on the altar's camera as well and just take a moment to just absorb Mother's talk. Okay, so the last step we generally do in these kind of programs, which is also what we did in the puja, is something called an arti. Arti is a Sanskrit word. Means complete, and rati means love. So it's complete love. It's generally a sort of like a ritual or protocol done where you see someone is either offering again incense or even like candles lit, and putting them in clockwise circles in round sort of that shape to deity or god, as a sign of again that respect, love, and worship. So in this case, we do it to Shri Mataji as a sign of like a thanks in a way and respect. And the light also symbolizes that, that light to ourselves coming out of, in a way, darkness or getting rid of negativities. Um, and in a way, respecting that element that, it's like thanking in a way that this light element gives us that, it gets rid of any negativities within us, but also brings sort of light to the world as well in that way. So I'm going to just quickly share my screen to show you the words of the Aarti, which you may have heard before. We're going to play a recorded version. So no, I'm not going to sing in this one because I'll show you how we're doing it in the camera. And out of respect, generally, every one of us should stand up when the Aarti is happening. It's like just again a sign of respect. If you can't stand up, it's okay. You can be seated comfortably. But if you can, it's great, as that's what we do generally when we are there in person. So I'm going to put the words up, and if you have another device, you're welcome to take a photo if you'd like to sing along. But if you can't as well, that's fine. Again, I will send you all the words and you can save a copy, have a read of it later if you like, of the meaning. And it's something we'll try and incorporate every session like this. So in the beginning, we clean mother's photo and feet, and then we do this arti in the end to complete our session of having that meditation, but also thanking in a way mother for the vibrations and joy we feel when we are there together. So let me just show you quickly the arti now. So just give me one moment. If you like, you're actually more than welcome to join in. So if you've got like incense at home and you'd like to use it now, you can use that as well and join us while we're doing it. Or you can always do it another time as well and join us again. So I'll just show you which one we're singing. It's the same one we sing all the time in the end of every puja or a session like this. And if you can see it here, it's called Sabko Dua Dena. It's in Hindi. And the meaning of this bhajan is basically, Mother, give blessings to all. And that's what this song is just saying in a way, that, please give blessings to everyone. And please give blessings to all. What I might actually do is I will send a copy of this in the WhatsApp now. And if you'd like to have a read, you can. So we'll get prepared. I'm going to stop sharing. I'm going to go to Mother's altar. I'll send you all the lyrics. And then Kirti will very shortly play the music. So just give us a moment and I'll let you know, Kirti, when to begin. Thanks, Kirti. You can play the arti now and we can begin.
सबको दुआ देना, माँ सबको दुआ देना। जय निर्मल माता जी, जय निर्मल माता जी, दिल में सदा रहना, माँ सबको दुआ देना, सबको दुआ देना, माँ सबको दुआ देना। जय निर्मल माता जी, जय निर्मल माता जी, दिल में सदा रहना, माँ सबको दुआ देना। जग में संकट कारण कितने दिए अवतार, माँ कितने दिए अवतार। विश्व में तेरी महिमा, विश्व में तेरी महिमा, तू गंगा यमुना, माँ सबको दुआ देना, सबको दुआ देना, माँ सबको दुआ देना। जय निर्मल माता जी, जय निर्मल माता जी, दिल में सदा रहना, माँ सबको दुआ देना। जो भी शरण में आया सुख ही मिला उसको, माँ सुख ही मिला उसको। बैठ के दिल में ओ माँ, बैठ के दिल में ओ माँ, लौट के ना जाना, माँ सबको दुआ देना, सबको दुआ देना, माँ सबको दुआ देना। जय निर्मल माता जी, जय निर्मल माता जी, दिल में सदा रहना, माँ सबको दुआ देना। मानव में अवतर के कर दिया उजियाला, माँ कर दिया उजियाला। कलयुग में माया है, कलयुग में माया है, फिर भी पहचाना, माँ सबको दुआ देना, सबको दुआ देना, माँ सबको दुआ देना। जय निर्मल माता जी, जय निर्मल माता जी, दिल में सदा रहना, माँ सबको दुआ देना। संकटनों की धरती है भारत माता, माँ है भारत माता। इस धरती पर आकर, इस धरती पर आकर, दुख से दूर करना, माँ सबको दुआ देना, सबको दुआ देना, माँ सबको दुआ देना। जय निर्मल माता जी, जय निर्मल माता जी, दिल में सदा रहना, माँ सबको दुआ देना। जब दिल में आए तब मधु संगीत सुन लो, माँ मधु संगीत सुन लो। हो सके जो सेवा, हो सके जो सेवा, हमसे करा लेना, माँ सबको दुआ देना, सबको दुआ देना, माँ सबको दुआ देना। जय निर्मल माता जी, जय निर्मल माता जी, दिल में सदा रहना,
सबको दुआ देना, माँ सबको दुआ देना, माँ सबको दुआ देना। त्वमेव साक्षात् श्री महालक्ष्मी महासरस्वती महाकाली त्रिगुणात्मिका कुंडलिनी साक्षात् श्री आदिशक्ति माताजी श्री निर्मला देव्यै नमो नमः। ॐ त्वमेव साक्षात् श्री कल्की साक्षात् श्री आदिशक्ति माताजी श्री निर्मला देव्यै नमो नमः। ॐ त्वमेव साक्षात् श्री कल्की साक्षात् श्री सहस्रार स्वामिनी मोक्षप्रदायिनी माताजी श्री निर्मला देव्यै नमो नमः। श्री निर्मला देव्यै नमो नमः। श्री निर्मला देव्यै नमो नमः। बोलो श्री भगवती माताजी श्री निर्मला देवी की जय।
So that prayer in the end is usually said as a way to praise Shri Mataji. So how we say Jai Shri Mataji, that one is Bolo Shri Bhagwati Mataji. It's just, again, Bolo means say, Bhagwati is just a name of describing mother. Mataji Shri Nirmala Devi Ki Jai. Jai is like a praise of hey or victory. So once that's done, you hear that. Out of respect, you bow down to the Mother Earth. So your forehead touches the floor in reverence and in thanks to her and the Mother Earth in a way as well. So we'll sit for silent meditation now for a couple of minutes. But this basically concludes the second session of today. So if you have to go, that's fine. But we'll just sit in complete silence now. and may play a little bit of music later on, but complete silence for now. We can now slowly open our eyes, raise our Kundalini, and put on our bandhan. Okie doke. So that concludes today's session. So it was a bit, I think, longer. How are we going? We started at 7:40, so it's gone for about 2 hours ish. And that's usually actually how it happens. So in the program generally in your local ashrams as well, we do go in does go for about an hour or two, and the pujas usually go for much longer, as you may have experienced from the Christmas puja that we had. It was a lot longer, and we sang more songs as well. So pujas usually you sing more songs, and there's a few more like protocols we do in the puja. But in a weekly program, it's like a very small version of a puja as a way to collectively meditate, give regards to Shri Mataji, sing a few songs, and then, of course, listen to the talk. So, what we might do is now, again, that there's a few of us still left, and just want to say a hats off for staying right till the end as well. Well, if you have to leave now, you can, but I just thought, just to bring in that social element a little bit, we'll now enable that you can turn on your cameras and unmute yourselves. Um, so yeah, I mean, if anything, if anyone's had any birthdays this week, please let us know. You can let us know now. If you'd like to unmute yourself, tell us how you're feeling or your thoughts for today. Please go ahead as well, or I'm just gonna pick someone at random. So I'm gonna give it a moment. If anyone on the floor, or even if any of our yogis, um, even Kirti, Vaibhav, Uncle Charles, anyone wants to jump in, they can. So just give a moment to see if anyone knew. Okay, everyone's maybe very thoughtless or shy. Let's see. Okay, what about Helen? Helen, are you there? You still in the session? So you might have to unmute yourself. Because everyone's on mute at the moment. Okay, yeah, we're getting nice comments. Okay, so okay, why don't we go to Seema? Are you still there, Seema? Or did you want to unmute yourself and say hello? Or, are you there, Seema? You'll have to just unmute. Oh, yeah. Do you want to unmute yourself? You want to unmute and say hello to everyone? Or... Hold on. Okay, yeah, holding on. No worries. Yeah, just give her a moment. Okay. So maybe while we come to, we'll give Seema a moment. And maybe in the interim, so what we can do is, actually, what we might do is, Kirti, if you like, we could. I'm just wondering. No, all good, all good. Okay. Let's see. What about, okay, let's go to Kirti, who's our head techie. I'm gonna put her on the spot. How are you feeling, Kirti? Well done, by the way. There's a little hiccup with the Aarti because she thought she played it and she stood up out of respect, and I'm like, where's the sound? So, Kirti, do you want to turn your camera on? No.
No, all good.
You're all good, okay. How are you feeling?
I feel really good. It was a beautiful meditation, and yeah, there was a small glitch when I just got up and played the music and didn't realize that I didn't share. But all good and really beautiful program. Really enjoyed and really felt that joy.
Awesome. Oh, there you go. There's Seema. Can you try now, Seema? Can you unmute yourself? Thanks, by the way, Kirti. Thank you. There should be like a microphone button on the bottom left. If you hit that, it'll unmute. Oh, that's a camera. The other one. No, maybe not.